All right, guys. I keep recording and then it stops recording. So hopefully this is... I keep repeating myself, so I'm getting tired. Okay. So page 2, and we're going to learn about the shape tool at the top. We're also going to learn how to round corners of objects. We're also going to learn about layering and grouping, duplicating objects, flipping them. And then at the bottom of the page, we're going to learn how to use what's called the Shapebuilder tool. All right, so before I get started with the shape tool, I just wanted to show you some shortcuts with your keyboard. So if you hold down Shift while making any of these shapes, it's going to constrain the proportions. And also if you hold down Alt-Option on your keyboard, it will make the shape from the center, okay? So if we look at the tools on the left, I want to show you, it looks like a square. And when you see that little triangle in the lower right hand corner of a tool, then that means that there's more tools underneath it. So I'm going to select it, and then we'll see a, I call it a circle, but it's called ellipse in in Adobe products. We have the triangle and the star. So I'm going to start off with selecting the rectangle, and again, you can either hold down the circle and click and drag to make a shape, or you can, I'm going to undo, I can hold down Shift while making a shape. Okay, and then we'll get that perfect square. And I'm going to switch over to, I'm going to actually use the, hold on. I'm going to use the, it changed my color because I wanted to start with a fresh sheet. You got it? There we go. Nope. I'm picking the eyedropper tool. Okay, I'm selecting the object. I'm going to the eyedropper, and then I'm going to pick that blue. There we go. All right, so now the next one that I do, I'm going to pick the ellipse. There we go. And it didn't see my finger for a second. So I picked the ellipse, and this time I'm going to hold down the Alt-Option button on my keyboard while I'm clicking and dragging, and notice that I'm making that perfect circle. So that's possible because I'm holding that Alt-Option. Now, say I wasn't holding that and I click and drag. Here, I'm going to do it. I'm going to move this one and show you that if I was doing it the other way, and just clicking and dragging, notice it doesn't end up in like the right spot and the right size. So that's why you might want to be using the Alt option while you're making shapes, okay? Next, I'm going to select the triangle tool and make a triangle and try to fit it into there. All right, and then I'm going to select the star. And try to make it as perfect as possible. Okay. I wanted to show you that. So the other thing I wanted to show you was like after I make this triangle, you're going to see this arrow up and down. And if I click and drag that arrow up, I can make different shapes. I can make more sides. And, you know, it starts at 3. So that's what you can find underneath the triangle. Isn't that cool? I forgot to mention that. So the last thing I want you to do is I want you to make a square again. Okay, and I'm going to click and drag to make a square. And then I'm going to zoom in, and I want to show you. Do you see this like little donut in the upper right hand corner? If I click and drag that, it's going to let me round the corners. And if you keep pulling, it's going to make a perfect circle. But you might have accidentally already touched this when you were making other things, but that's what that rounded donut does, okay? Cool, we're done with making shapes. We made all those beautiful shapes. All right, next I wanted to show you about like working smarter, not harder. So say for instance this eye, okay? And this eye is just a bunch of circles on top of each other that are different sizes and different colors. And I can bring it over here and then you're like, oh, I'm short an eye. So you could remake all of those circles, or you could work smarter by duplicating and resizing. So they have a little handy shortcut in that gray bar. It's that the 2 like black boxes with the plus on it, and that duplicated it. All right, and then I can resize it, and I can hold down the circle to group it. Otherwise, you can see in the shortcuts, and I have that in the lower left-hand corner, Command plus C on your keyboard copies an object, and Command plus V pastes it. Okay, so let's continue to move these shapes over, and I'm going to move the arm, and I'm going to move the other arm, and top of the eyes. Okay, and notice that when I get to the foot, I don't have enough feet, and I also need to flip it. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate this. Oops, I did duplicate it, but I want to move it away. And then I'm going to go to the Align palette on the right here, and then I'm going to hit Flip. Okay, you can go like this, but then you don't know, like, right? It's not the right width. Okay, so that's why you probably want to use the precise Align inside of the flip inside the Align panel. All right, I'm going to move over this shape and the circles. Okay, and then I'm going to move over the mouth, and notice that the mouth is behind. Okay, so I need to adjust like where it is in the layers. So in that quick toolbar underneath, I'm going to select it, and I'm going to go to the right, and I'm just going to keep going. Sometimes you actually have to do it a couple times, I found out. There we go. So and then I actually have to, I want to put that, there we go. So sometimes you have to do it a couple times to kind of get it behind all of the objects that you want it to be. Okay, and this looks good. All right, the last thing I want to show you how to do is how to group items. So I'm just going to click and drag over all of these, and then there's a little shortcut in this bar right here. It's that square with the two other squares inside, and that will group it. And when I do that, then I can move things together. All right, and then the keyboard shortcut for that is Command plus G. All right, and the last part of page 2 is the Shapebuilder tool. So what I'm going to have you do is select these individual shapes and put them on top of each other. But yes, you can group them, but what I want to do is I actually want to join them, merge them, so it's all one shape. So I'm going to use the Shapebuilder tool. So I'm going to come over here to the right and select it and hit, it gives you a little preview. It was really glitchy for me today. And then that combines all right? And then I'm going to go over to this next one, and I'm going to find that. Sometimes it's really hard to make and make sure I'm going to double click. I accidentally selected the donut, and then I accidentally resized it. Didn't say it was going to be easy. Again, I'm going to go over all of these, and I'm going to go to combine all. And again, it's been really glitchy for me today. Usually it works really beautifully. I think it worked. Nope. Combine all. There we go. Did it? I don't know. It's been really glitchy for me. Hopefully it's not for you. But it will work. I'm just showing you that I can do that. Will it do it? I don't know. And try to get it perfectly in the center. If it doesn't, you can use the Align tools to center. There we go. And I'm going to select them both, and then I'm going to do minus front. It's struggling to give me a preview of the minus front. There you go. That one worked perfectly. And then I'm going to do it again to show you the idea that you can. I might align these. There you go. And I'm going to do the minus front again. Struggling to make that preview right now. Minus front. Okay, and then perfect, right? We have this shape now made from collecting shapes together. Okay, so we learned all about the shape tool, making shapes, rounded corners, layering, grouping, duplicating, sending things back and forth between layers, flipping it, and then joining things with the Shapebuilder tool. Today it was being very glitchy for me, but usually it works really, really well. Yeah, I don't know. Cool, fun times. All right, and then we'll move on to the next page.